This is your third year now here at Penn State. So what's the journey been like so far?
Has it been that long?
Has it been?
Or short, right?
It's crazy.
Journey's been amazing. It's everything I thought it would be, and more. I knew we had some challenges and a little bit of an uphill battle, but I felt like we've headed on with an optimistic approach. We try to keep a great attitude. We're trying to change perception. We're excelling in the classroom. I think as individuals, we're getting better every day. And I think in year 3 here, as we approach, you're going to see a team that you're going to want to come out and watch live.
Now, when you first arrived here at Penn State, one of your big goals was to increase the popularity of basketball here at this university. How far along do you think you are in accomplishing that goal?
It's a work in progress. I think we've done everything in my power that I can do as far as community, auditorium speeches, lectures, pep rallies, Nittanyville. I mean, you name it. We as a staff, I have done it. The players have helped me hit all the radio stations, TV. I think we got to win. I mean, I think that's the last piece to this puzzle. We got to win now, because I want people to know there is basketball here. We're not competing with football, because I love football and I have a great relationship with Billy O. We just have to do our part now.
Now, looking at this team this season, Tim Frazier's back. You have a very talented backcourt, a nice group of freshmen, and Tim Frazier's back. So how nice is it just to have him back in the rotation?
You know what? It's great to have him back. Healthy, feeling good. Your heart went out for him, when he went down. But what he's accomplished over the last year to get himself to 100%, to improve his vertical, to get bigger and stronger and not lose his quickness was critical for him and his success. But that's not how it helped DJ Newbill. I mean, DJ Newbill is, now he can play the 1, he can play the 2, he can play the 3, he can play so many different positions. He can make plays for others. He's going to be a big-time scorer for us. So I think even though we went through Tim being out last year, in a really crazy, sick way, it really helped us for this year. And it helped Ross Travis and Brandon Taylor and Donovan Jack. I just think those guys playing all the games that they played in, like Donovan, and especially Brandon Taylor, they're not sophomores anymore. Ross Travis has started almost every game. He's played 60 games. He's not a junior. You know what I mean? They've got experience. They know how tough it is to play on the road. They know how tough the Big Ten is. So with all that and Tim Frazier, that presents for an exciting year.
Now, when Tim got back into the rotation after he kind of got back to his old self, how did the team kind of respond to him being back into the rotation? Did they pick it up right away, just like as those left off?
You know, it takes time. Because now you're putting DJ off the ball, and he got used to having the ball in his hands. Now he's kind of getting readjusted to playing the wing, but he'll play the backup point as well. And then Tim's, trying to figure out where everybody's going to be. It's like a quarterback and a receiver. Like Hack and A-Rob, they got to make sure that they're on the same page in timing patterns and things like that. Tim's got to know where DJ's going to be, where Ross is going to be, Brandon. And once he figures that out, I think you're going to see a nice seamless transition.
Let's look at these freshmen on your team. You have a great group of guys coming in here. What have they shown you so far?
They're competitors. The last couple of practices have been just battles, flat-out battles. That's the only way I can say it. I mean, guys getting on each other, guys pushing each other, arguments, just a high level of healthy competition. Gino, being from the state of Pennsylvania, from Pittsburgh, brings a lot of toughness. Graham brings you that. Joe Crispin. Julian brings you that length and athleticism. Peyton brings you a high level of skill. So when you put that together, these guys have all won in their AAU programs, in their high school programs. So these guys want to win every drill. And for us, I mean, it's only going to push these 5 guys that are veterans, including Allen Roberts. It's only going to push them to new heights.
And looking at Julian, he's got great height. He's a very athletic guy. Do you think he can be one of those guys that steps in right away and really adds to the front court for your team?
He's definitely going to help. He's earned the right to help us early on here and get him ready to play in the Big Ten. With his athleticism, his speed, he's an elite finisher. He's a good free throw shooter. So as long as he does little things like that, that elevates us when we put him in the game, he'll get those minutes.
Now, Coach, you brought these guys in. Let's look at recruiting in the Big Ten. I mean, you're going up against guys like Tom Izzo, Tom Crean, Bo Ryan. How tough is it to go up against those guys in the recruiting trails?
You know, the way I look at it is we got to be who we are, and we got to be secure in our own skin. They're great coaches, Hall of Fame coaches, but I can't worry about them. I got to worry about us and Penn State and what we provide and the opportunity that we can share to a student athlete. And I think we have to find that needle in a haystack. It's a special kid to come to Penn State. We have a lot of structure here. You know, a lot of kids don't want that. You have to go to class here. You know, our GPA is up to a 2.85, which I'm very proud of, and it needs to stay up there. I'd like to get over a 3.0, to be honest with you. So we have to find that special kid that wants to get his degree, that wants to go to class, wants to be educated, but is a winner and is going to elevate us. I don't want kids that look at our record and say, oh, I have a chance to play there. I have a chance to play as a freshman. No, it's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the total package. I'm looking for winners and guys that want to be winners in life, but want to be well educated.
So when you're in the homes of these high school kids, what is your pitch? How do you get them to don the blue and white?
You just heard it. And if they don't like it, if they're not into it, if the parents don't like it, or the people in their circle don't like it, they're not for us. And that's why we have to work really hard. And that's why our recruiting list might not be like Izzo and Crean and Painter and those guys, or Thad for that matter. It might be larger because we got to scour the country. We want to win our state, do the best job we can in Pennsylvania, but then we want to go Northeast Corridor and then open it up. But it's a difficult task to find a Penn Stater, and that's our job. That's my staff's job, and so far so good. We're getting the right kids.
Now your third season here at Penn State. You were a new kid on the block 2 years ago, I guess now. There's two newcomers to the conference this season. We have Collins at Northwestern, Rich Pitino at Minnesota. What are your thoughts on those guys?
I know them well, good coaches. You know, they're stepping into, you know, not difficult situations, but one that they know is going to be a tough battle. But I think they're going to make a positive impact on the league. Looking
around the country in this conference, where you've been, where you are now, is there a certain team or coach that you emulate?
That's a great question. I think as a coach, only being 42 and this being my 10th year in the business, 5th year as a head coach, you know, I really like to look at guys that have been successful. The Brad Stevens of the world. How did he do it? How did he get to 2 Final Fours? The Billy Donovans. You know, he knocked us off when I was an assistant coach at Villanova to get to a Final Four and win a national championship. How did he do it? Bill Walsh has been a huge, I've read everything under the sun on Bill Walsh. I think the guy's a mastermind. I mean, what he did with San Francisco, where it was. And you might be like, well, that's football, this is basketball. It's very similar. It's still a team game. You're still doing different things of preparation. You know, he always said, you prepare for success now. You start thinking like a champion now, well before you become a champion. And that's what I learned about, you know, from Bill Walsh and a lot of these other coaches.
Now let's switch gears here a little bit. You're now an established member of this community. What do you like best about living here in State College?
Oh, man, it's the people, hands down. You work with amazing people who genuinely care about you. My wife loves it here. My kids love it here. You know, they're just very generous, very kind. And that's what you like. You know they're here to support you and try to help you out in any way that you can. And it's Penn State. Come on, we're one of the best universities in the world. 600,000 living alums. Look at this facility that I'm in. Look at where we are. Look what we have. We're in the Big Ten Conference. There's so many positives on why this is a special place. But what I always say is the buildings are great, right? They're always going to be here. It's the people that you get to work with every day that really, you know, push you and drive you.
Well, State College is your community now, but of course you have Philly roots. So what did you learn in Philadelphia that has helped you here at State College?
Well, you know, I learned a lot from just Jay Wright in general. He's a Philly guy as well. How to run a program, how to stay connected to your community, outreach, awareness. Remembering where you came from, I think, is important too. I mean, as coaches, we get put on a pedestal and people treat us differently. And we got to remain humble and hungry. We got to remember, you know, you're a human being too and treat everybody. The golden rule, Treat everybody how you want to be treated, and I like to think we do that. And Philly's taught me a great thing about work ethic as well, and trying to just trying to do the little things that make a big impact in the community, in the program for the university.
Looking at your tenure here at Penn State, some say that due to the history and the tradition of other schools constantly winning this conference, they say like a school like Penn State, it's nearly impossible to win the Big Ten. What are your thoughts on that?
I say they're completely wrong. I wouldn't have taken this job if I didn't think there was a chance or an opportunity. I didn't come here to finish, 6, 7, or 8 in the league. I came here to win championships. I'm used to winning championships. I didn't take this job to make good money and just to keep us afloat. I took this job to be a contender and to go to the NCAA tournament and to bring us back to a Final Four, which we haven't done since 60 years. Matter of fact, that's the 60-year anniversary coming up this January.
You mentioned getting back to a Final Four here at Penn State. And when you arrived here, you had a vision, you had a goal of what you thought Penn State basketball could be. How long do you think it'll take until that vision becomes a reality?
We're headed in the right path. I know our record might not indicate it over the last 2 years, but I think we got the right kids here. I think we got a lot of talent right now. It's a 5-6 year plan. And we have to stick to the process. I know it's a big word right now, process, but it's true. But we have to stick to our guns, believe in what we do, believe in who we are. And as long as we continue to do that and grow in our confidence, time will tell.